When you log into Redbrick for the first time as an annotator or a labeler, you'll be greeted with something that looks a lot like this. This is the home screen, where you'll see a list of one or several blocks that all have project names on them. You'll see that the names of these blocks are also reflected in the left-hand toolbar here with the purple background. All this is a list of the projects that you have been invited to participate in. If you want to make any changes to your password, enable or disable multi-factor authentication, you can do so up here in the top left by clicking on the Account button. But let's jump into a project. You can do so by clicking either on the corresponding block or by the entry in the left-hand toolbar. When you open a project for the first time, your screen will probably look like this. So let's talk about everything that we see starting from the left. On the left side here, you'll see an expandable and collapsible toolbar that shows you your name, your role, as well as the number of tasks that have been assigned to you. A task in Redbrick is a unit of work and can be anything from a single X-ray to a single MRI study to 20 MRI studies. That all depends on the project that your admin has set up. After you start annotating and do some work over a certain period of time, you'll also have access to your productivity data. And you can customize your timeline here or use our presets to determine how productive you have been over that course of time. In the center of the page, you'll find entries here. Each of these individual entries are tasks, and you'll see that you are the assignee for these tasks. Some other important notes. You, as a labeler, have access to generally two filters. Queued for labeling, which means tasks that have been assigned to you and are waiting for your work, or if you've already done work on Redbrick, recently labeled. Clicking on recently labeled allows you to view the tasks that you have contributed to, even if you no longer have access to them as they've been pushed down the project pipeline. One other important note is reference standards. Reference standards are annotation sets that have been uploaded by your admin. And they're treated as an ideal set of baseline annotations that you can visually reference if you run into any confusion or things like that. These are optional when creating a project, and not all projects have reference standards, but yours might. When viewing your tasks, you can click on the white space in any row in order to access the task details. And you can see that this task was uploaded, this task was assigned to somebody else, and then assigned to me, the labeler, Theodore Roosevelt, and is currently in progress. You can leave comments here if you'd like, or we can do so in the annotation tool, which we'll get to in a moment. Last but not least, you'll see this little menu button. Any data row that includes this button represents a task that has already been cached and will open extremely quickly, so you won't have to wait for any loading times or anything like that. If you'd like to uncache an entry, all you have to do is click on this button here, but I generally don't recommend it. Next, we're going to get into the annotation tool.